Diaries. My name is Louisa, and today's episode is going to be a little bit short today. I just want to touch on something specific because I hadn't been called to specifically talk about anything, and I had kind of ideas rolling through the week, but I just hadn't prepared myself for them specifically. But this has just come to me, so I really wanted to talk about it because something that I've been like embodying and practicing for the past couple of months now, and I find that it's actually really working. And it's something that there's always been spoken about in spirituals communities, mindset communities, personal growth communities, and it is gratitude and the art of gratitude, and how it actually is very impactful in your life, and how you can adopt it in your life and kind of make big changes as well. Just gonna let my dog out 1 second. Now, in my spiritual journey, for a while, for about 5 years, I found myself grateful, but I wasn't just deeply grateful because your lens is a lot of the time can be focused on things that you just don't prefer. And in those times, you just do forget the idea that gratitude is actually a massive magnet for just living a more fulfilled life. Even if you don't have a lot, gratitude gives you the ability to feel like you do. And constantly practicing it has helped me in a lot of ways to adapt myself to really appreciate the little things in my life. And so I've for a long time I was just doing gratitude practices, but when I was trying to do my manifestation practices or any kind of practice, I would always be asking, I want things, and that's fine to want things. But what I wasn't doing obviously was taking action, which is like the language of the universe of how it actually can come to you in this reality. But it's also down to the fact that I wasn't overly grateful for things because things still weren't going the way that I really wanted them to, or my expectations. Now, expectations ruin everything in my opinion, in my very, very honest, brutal opinion. Expectations ruin everything. Have a goal, have an idea, and have a vision. But if you pinpoint it to exactly the way that you want it, you will end up disappointed every time. So that's just one thing. But when it comes down to the art of gratitude and being appreciative for the things that you have, it opens you up to being appreciative for so much more. And so I started dedicating every single day, or as many days as I possibly can, and to like a daily tapping gratitude practice. And the way that I do this is I tap through the points. So it'll be like the wrist, and it'll be the eyebrows, temples, under the eyes, under the nose, and the chin, the collarbones, under the arms, and the top of the head. So I'll go into a practice and I will honestly just speak anything that comes to my mind. So as I'm doing this practice, every single day it'll change. But I always find that myself that I am grateful for the same things. And I also have found myself to be grateful for so many more things. Now, even if I had to cultivate something to be grateful for and really sit and think about it, because I find that I love a meditation, don't get me wrong, but meditation sometimes I get a little bit too, because I've been doing it for so long, I kind of got a little bit bored with it. So that's why I switched up so many times, and I'll do breath work, and I've started humming, which is really cool. And I do a sort of other sort of active practices, but I just found that when I did gratitude meditations, they were just like, you filter things and you feel them and you like them and you're grateful for them. And then it just kind of leaves where when I did it in a tapping sequence, I kind of felt like, because I was saying it out loud, it was landing. Because I was in that calm state of mind when I was talking about it, it just felt a lot more real. So when I started doing that a little bit more, every day started to feel as though I was more grateful for everything, every single thing that I had. And with that, every time I forced myself to do these gratitude practices, these gratitude tapping practices every day, I found that throughout the day, I found more things to be grateful for rather than looking for the things that I don't have yet. So it starts to really shape your lens. And for me specifically, the lens started really shifting when I would notice the daily things in my life that I would be grateful for, and little magical things would start to happen, and your synchronicities will start to flow a little bit more as well. Your path will just unfold a lot easier for you. My path in the last 2 to 3 months has been a lot easier. Things have made more sense. But I'm working for things a lot harder than I ever have before because I'm so much more dedicated to my practice in general. But I'm noticing that when you are not only are you grateful and you take action on what you do love, you'll find that everything will start to really fall into place. And with that, I've seen money randomly coming in. I've seen opportunities randomly coming in. I've been to events and I've been to things when I've had no expectations of, and I found that something has come out of it later rather than at the time, because I won't go into anything anymore with the idea of expectation. I'll go into something with the idea of openness. And I found that when I go into a situation with the idea of openness and the idea of learning and understanding, you come to a point where you'll go, oh, okay, well, I really got something out of that so much more than what I thought I ever would. Or me being grateful for just being somewhere, not even just in nature, for just being somewhere, doing something, living where I live, being grateful when you walk down the street, being just the small things really do add up and they turn into the really big things. And that's what I found a lot of the time. And people really talk about gratitude. It's just like, you do need to be grateful and all of this. And they're all right in their own way, but there's so many different ways that we can adapt it. And there's so many different ways that we can kind of embody gratitude in the way that's going to work for us. Um, but I do believe that if you are sitting in a spot where, you're on your journey and you're on your path and you are growing to a certain extent and you stopped and you kind of stalled, but the only thing that you're reading enough spiritual books to last a lifetime, and I've read many spiritual books, and I have so many to go, so many books, not enough human time. You get to a point and you listen to all the right people on Instagram and or YouTube, and you're doing all the right readings and educations and learnings, but there's just like this sort of stop crossroad, you know what I mean? And you just kind of don't really know where to go and things are a little bit more blurry. I have found that when I kind of unlocked this state of just forcing myself to be grateful for things, and just instead of not looking at the things that I'm unhappy about or may have not got yet, looking at them through the lens of, where do I need to look at that differently? And how can I look at that in another way? What's the paradox in that? And I found that even being grateful for any struggles that I may have, or anything that's, currently trying to stop me in my journey, or well, not really stop me, but it's more kind of diverting me, or allowing me to slow down, allowing me to take a step back and take another look at things, and things that may seem frustrating. I found that I'm even finding gratitude in them, because I know that every single thing that happens to me and happens to you is always for your highest good. And I found that from the wonderful teachings of Bashar. And if no one knows who Bashar is, I have been listening to him for almost a year now, and he's a wonderful, life-changing individual. And he's actually a channeled entity by someone by the name of Daryl Anchor, who is his vessel in this physical world. Very esoteric, but I'm not here to not be esoteric. This is my channel, and that's what we're going to go with. And he speaks about, how you bring things in and how you go through your life and how you understand things. And he is so in depth and says everything with such precision. Man's never stuttered in 40 years, so it's real. Man said the same thing for 40 years, so it's not like a fake thing. But the one thing that's really stuck out to me is that every single thing that you go through is for your highest good. Everything that happens to you is always eventually for your highest good. If you maintain the lens of that, that's massive power in itself. And I have found so much comfort in that. Of all the things that have happened to me and still are happening to me, there are some difficulties at the moment that I'm struggling with in another version of me, another part of my existence. But as for my personal growth, I know that it's for that. And I know that I've always said to myself a long time ago, I know every single thing that I'm going through is something that's going to help someone one day. So that's got me going. But when it really landed in my gratitude practice, a few months ago, when I really started this and started integrating this, finding that I've been so grateful for my challenges is extremely powerful in itself. I'm thankful for all the things that have happened to me. I'm thankful for the lessons that I've learned from it. And I'm so grateful for the new information that I have because of it, and the newfound wisdom that I'll always possess and always be able to hopefully help someone with that in the same way. So I guess this message today that I wanted to talk about, I didn't plan this, and I just thought about it like a minute before I sat down. But, you know, just start being just grateful for even the smallest things in your day. And every day you could even start with a tapping practice. Message me below if you want me to write you a tapping practice, or if you want me to start releasing tapping practices, I can do that as well. Mine are really personalized, but what I can actually do is take you through the points and take you through a sequence and see how you feel with it, and we'll work, anyway, we'll work that out. I'll suss it and I'll let it come to me, and I'll let people come to me if they want one. Just apply gratitude in some sort of way every day. Some sort of way of being grateful for, obviously, your food and your shelter and your loved ones and your pets and the plant and that bee and everything. Just, the comfort of your silk pillowcase and silk eye mask. I'm so grateful for them every night. just just try it. Just give it a go. Commit to it and brainwash yourself, and you'll find yourself, like, the lens of your life will get brighter. It'll start to unfog. When it's like in focus, out of focus, you'll start to get more focus, but the focus will be clear and really beautiful. And even if there is struggle in your lifetime, and which there will be, and even if there's some sort of complication, find the paradox in that. Find the opposite. Find what you can be grateful. Find what you can grab from that. Find what you can get out of that, and then you'll find how you can get out of it. I'm gonna leave you with those words. Be grateful every day. Just try it. Just do a little bit. Do a little bit, and do it for a few months. See the subtle changes of your life, because it's actually quite remarkable when you do.